Favorites.
Okay, my mother and father, let's see, my mom is 3 years older than my dad, and they are like night and day. My mom is 5'4" on a good day, 5'2", I think, in real life, and she's very sweet and very nice and very caring and very cute. Everybody tells her how young she looks and how she resembles my sister, perhaps. My father is very much completely opposite that. He's a very big man, very loud, very funny, very boisterous. He makes friends no matter where he goes. For example, sometimes he goes to Florida and makes all sorts of new friends. He'll just go by himself, and he's kind of a magnet to people. And so my parents are completely opposite, and they complement each other very well. My dad has a very good sense of humor, and my mom is very, very gentle and very nice.
Wow. Okay. When was the last time you talked to your parents?
I talked to them probably about 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's going well with them.
Okay. Are you going to see them soon?
I am going to go home after the holidays, and we're going to have a Christmas kind of in January or February. Yeah, depending on when my brother can come in. So.
Okay, and who are you more like, your mother or your father?
I think I have traits of both, actually. I look more like my mother, except for I'm about a foot taller than she is.
Yeah, a little taller.
But yeah, and I resemble my mom more, but I think I have both of the characteristics of my mom and dad.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thanks.
Dogs.
Okay, hello, Matt.
Hello, Todd.
Matt, I'm going to ask you some questions about pets.
Okay.
First question, do you have a pet?
Yes, at my mom's house we have three pets, 2 dogs and a cat. My family actually raises dogs for helping blind people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, how do they train the dogs?
How do they train the dogs? Well, I mean, it's a long process, right? I mean, we get them when they're puppies, and so we train them basic, sit, come, really basic things. And then after they're about 2 years old, they go to different training school.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
How many dogs do they usually train at a time?
Just one. We have our own dog, and then we have a dog that we have that we're training.
Okay.
Yeah, just one dog at a time.
Do you ever see the dogs you train, like out on the street or anything?
Sometimes we see them. They'll have like, sort of conventions of, or reunions of the pets, and so yeah, you get to see them every once in a while.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. Why do people keep pets?
I guess the most important thing is companionship, right? So there's somebody always there for you that will like you no matter what.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, besides cats, dogs, and fish, what are some other pets people keep?
Well, I guess if you're Siegfried and Roy, you can keep a tiger or a lion. I guess all types of things, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, my friend has a snake, or I don't know if you mentioned that, snake and ferrets and insects, spiders, all kinds of things.
All right. Yeah, that's like there's so many. What are some costs associated with keeping a pet?
Food is probably the biggest cost, but also if you keep the dog, particularly a dog, in your house, and when they're puppies, and we have a lot of puppies, they'll chew up everything they can.
Yeah.
So we're replacing shoes and cleaning up pee from the carpet and things like that. So it can be a hassle.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, Matt. And by the way, where are you from?
I'm from the USA, from Minnesota.
Australia.
Oh, hello, Michael.
Hello, Todd.
We're going to talk about Australia, or you're going to talk about Australia. So, first of all, how many people live in Australia?
Australia? Oh, there's about 20 million people living in Australia right now. A little bit under, a bit close to 20.
Okay. What are the biggest cities?
The biggest city is Sydney. Then it's followed by Melbourne, and then Brisbane. And then I think it's Perth. But most of the big cities are on the east coast of Australia. And there's Perth is on the west coast, that's sort of out there by itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had to live in one place, where would you live?
I like Brisbane. I had my teenage years in Brisbane, growing up in Brisbane. Or maybe Sydney, because it's a big city. But Brisbane's got the Gold Coast and sunshine.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Thanks. Actually, what is the capital city of Australia?
Canberra is the capital city, but it's not the biggest city.
Okay.
Sydney is the biggest city. Canberra was made sort of by the politicians, so Sydney wouldn't get too crowded. It's a separate territory.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Have you been to all the major cities in Australia?
I've been to Melbourne when I was young, but yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Only short time in Perth.
Okay. What's the best thing about Australia?
Best thing about Australia, probably the friendly people, relaxed attitude, and we like visitors.
Okay.
You know, other cultures. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How are Australians different than other people? How are they unique?
How are Australians unique? I would say that we're more fun-loving, maybe, or accepting of other people. And we don't mind, making new friends and actually conversing with other people.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's nice. Okay, thanks a lot, Michael.
No worries.
Okay.
The omelet.
Hey, Carrie, you cook, right? You're a pretty good cook?
Okay.
Okay. I want to make an omelet. So, actually, this is really silly. I've never made one before. How do you make an omelet?
Okay. Well, I can teach you how I make them, which is the same way that my father and grandmother make them. It's a little special.
Okay, yeah.
First you take some eggs and crack them in a bowl and whisk them up so they're quite high and fluffy. And in a hot pan, and you need a pan that's kind of small and that the sides go up at an angle. You put some oil and heat it up, so it's quite hot. And then you take your whipped up eggs, or whisked up eggs, and pour them into the pan. And as it's cooking, if you take in a spatula and push the bottom layer of the egg to the sides, and then to the middle, so the uncooked egg gets to the bottom of the pan.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. And keep doing that until most of the egg is cooked, so you should have a nice thick omelet. And then flip it over. You only have to cook that side lightly. Put your fillings on the top and fold it over and let it sit just long enough to melt the cheese.
Wow, that sounds really good.
It is.
Wow, what fillings do you recommend?
Well, if you want to do a real simple one, you can just use some pre-made salsa and cheese, and that's easy. Or you can do something like cut up some ham and cheese and onions or tomatoes, mushrooms, anything that you like. If you want to make a spinach omelet, then you have to add the cooked spinach to the egg mixture.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually cooked in it, and then in the inside, bacon and sour cream is nice, jack cheese.
Okay. Wow, I'll have to give that a try. Thanks.
Okay, sure.
Japanese culture.
Ceremony or anything? Yes, ikebana. It's an art of flowers, and it's quite different from Western style of flower arrangement because in ikebana's theory, you can decorate one flower with only one flower.
Oh, really?
And the flower arrangement in Japan is not only decorate flowers, but it's an art with flowers and space, air between the flowers and also the room and everything. It shows the space or even the universe in that.
And what's another Japanese art?
Japanese art? Ikebana, tea ceremony.
Tea ceremony.
Tea ceremony.
Tell me about tea ceremony.
Tea ceremony. There's certain ways you have to make tea. Not only make tea, there's a certain way to, for example, wipe a bowl.
I see.
Yes, with one piece of cloth. And you need to learn how to fold the cloth so that you use each part of the clothes only once to wipe the bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a complicated traditional procedure in a sense. But
how do you learn that? Is that something that your mother would teach you, or how do people learn that?
No, there are some professionals for both flower arrangement and tea ceremony. So you need to go
to school.
Yes, and learn from your teacher and their hierarchy and the organization, and you need to pass each test to go, climb up the ladder in the hierarchy.
I see.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.